And welcome back to the Art Track. In today's video, we're going to be looking at form. Form is the third element of art, but before we get into form, let's take a look back at shape. They have a height and a width. Shapes are two-dimensional. We can take these two-dimensional shapes and add a third dimension, and when we do that, we create a form. This third dimension in math, you would have heard it as height times width times length, and it creates a form. But what we are creating in art is the illusion of depth. How far back does it go into the paper? I can take my rectangle and turn it into a rectangular prism, or if I add a small ellipse at the top of the rectangle, I can turn it into a cylinder. A triangle can turn into a triangular prism or a pyramid depending on how we draw the triangle. All these forms still have height, width, and length. A circle is a little trickier, but we can extend the edges outward and turn it into a cylinder. Now this is where cross contour comes into play. If we want to create a circle and we want to make it look round on the paper, we can do this by adding some cross contour lines. The contour of a shape or an object is the outline. When we add cross contour, we're basically creating lines that go across from one side of the outline to the other. And when we do this, we have to imagine whether the surface is flat or curved. And so if I figure out where the top and the bottom of my circle is, and where the middle line is, the middle horizontal line, then I can start creating a cross contour line. And I'm going to mimic or copy the outline of it, which in this case goes outward to my left. I'm going to go ahead and rotate my paper and do the same on this side. And I'm just copying the outline edge, okay? And the reason I turn my paper is just to make it easier on me. Otherwise, I'll be making curves in all directions when I can just be making it this one way. Now we're starting to get the illusion that this circle is round. The closer the lines are, the more change is happening in the curve. Okay, so in the edges here, the lines actually come closer together, and that's because we see more of a change as it curves to the back. We can also tilt the circle sideways by placing the top and the bottoms a little off-centered, not at the edge of the top. So if I create a small ellipse here, and I say this is my top, or the top of the ball, I just continue with the same curves, a little closer at the bottom, and then that becomes my cross contour. I do the edges again, and I follow the outline to create the cross contour. Let's do this one more time. I create the circle. I find my top and my bottom. Now it's tilting the other way. And I use curved lines to create the illusion of the roundness of the surface. Since this is the top and bottom, everything starts and ends from these 2 points. And now I add the horizontal lines, or the lines going horizontally on the round object. I'm going to use this Sharpie so we can see the difference. This cross contour effect is similar to the way they create video games with the wireframing on the computer, but we're doing it manually. Depending on how we add the curve, that will determine how round the object is. And always follow the contour or the outline of the object. Alright, so the difference between using a curved line or a straight line on round surfaces. When we use a curved line, we emphasize the roundness of the object, and that's what I'm doing in this circle right here. But when we use straight lines on a surface that is meant to be round, we're going to get a different effect. Let me show you what happens when we add straight lines on a round surface. Instead of getting a round effect, we get this waffle effect. So when you add cross contours to a circle, you want to try and make the lines, the cross contour lines, curved to emphasize the roundness of it. And you want to avoid straight lines because that will give you a very flat look. Using curved lines for your cross contour lines will give you a round surface area. So when we're doing flat surfaces like these cubes, rectangle, and pyramid, we need to use straight lines. And we always follow the outline, the contour of the object. On this pyramid, the lines going up lead to one corner. Make sure you do that. And the bottom lines mimic or copy the bottom contour lines. Now this cylinder has a round surface, which is the body of the cylinder. It curves kind of like this. And then we have the vertical lines that represent the straightness or how tall the cylinder is. So we create the vertical lines and then we create the curved lines to show the roundness of it. And even though this is an ellipse, so a round shape on top, the surface area is flat, so we use straight lines. This lamp has both round and flat surfaces, so we have to determine which ones are flat and which ones are round, which ones require curved lines and which ones require straight lines. Here on this body, it looks like it's flat going down and then it curves in the lower half. So I start with a straight line and curve to the outside, mimicking and copying the contour of the object. You can create the illusion of 3D objects on a flat piece of paper using this method. Thank y'all for joining me. I hope you learned something today. Check us out on arttrike830.com and find us on Instagram and Facebook by searching up at arttrike830. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.